Welcome to the Wake and Bake podcast here in the early morning. Monday morning, post-draft. I'm Quentin. I'm a Charger fan. This is Pete. He's a Patriots fan. We go back and forth about football. What's going on in football, our teams. We usually spend most of our time on the NFL in general. Take deeper dives into our teams. We pull up on a good tangent. Rather than just move on to the next topic, we like to pull on those strings. It may take all episode. It may go into the next episode. I don't know. But thanks for tuning in. As always, like and subscribe, okay? Because otherwise nobody will ever know about us. Not that we care that much, honestly. You know, we're just gonna keep doing it. We do this anyway. So thanks for joining in. Did you watch the draft?
I did, some of it.
Some of it. What parts? The first round. You watched the first round, right? Laura tolerated it?
Some of day two.
Did Laura let you watch the whole first round?
Oh, no.
No? I mean, the Patriots had the number 4 overall pick.
Yeah, so I had to watch it for like 40
You watched
minutes.
that and just left? That was it?
I did like the top 10.
Top 10? What, did you catch some of the second or the later rounds?
Yeah, I caught some of day two.
Maybe we should just start with, wow, okay, let's talk about the surprises of the first, well, no.
I mean, we talked about
Yeah, we got to talk about that stuff, the surprise of the first round on Friday. So now this is just about the draft haul, right? Now that we got a bunch of our players. Because there weren't really, Shadeur dropping, continuing to drop all the way. It was the 6th round, right? Or the 5th?
Either way.
The end of the 5th round, right?
It's almost like the whole league hooted on, look, Browns, you guys want to draft him. You don't have to take him at 2, it's fine. You can take him later because nobody else wants him.
Right?
And you're the Browns, so we all feel bad for you anyway.
Well, you know they moved up, right?
Yeah, but not like, still like.
So that was kind of the last bit of big surprises. Which was funny because on the NFL Network, Ian Rappaport, so the Eagles were up, going to be up, and the Browns jumped in front of the Eagles. They moved up, right in front of the Eagles, and everybody was like, oh yeah, the Eagles are going to take Shadeur, dude. They did the same thing they did with Hurts. They took Hurts late, cultivated him behind Carson Wentz, and they had their guy. And so everybody was expecting the Eagles to take Shadeur, which is a good home for him. You know? Everybody felt like, hey, that's a good place, dude. If he's the backup to Hurts, it's great. He could win a ring, dude. He could win a Super Bowl ring. But, then the Browns jumped up in front, and Ian Rappaport was the one who's like, I think the Browns are going to come get Shadeur. I think that's what just happened right here. And yeah, he was dead on. Which is very interesting because the Browns took the quarterback from Oregon, like in the 4th round. Gabriel.
So they took 2 quarterbacks.
Yes. Shadeur wasn't even there. Yeah, Shadeur wasn't even the first quarterback that the Browns took. So the Browns have Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, the Gabriel kid from Oregon, which he was good. That guy was good. Like Oregon almost, weren't they the number 2 seed or something going into the college playoffs? Like,
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel is his name, I think. He's a lefty.
I know you love these some Oregon quarterbacks.
Yeah. So they took this Gabriel kid who has great potential. And then they've got Sanders. So here's the thing about the Browns situation, I think, for Sanders. Had he been drafted by Philly, there's no chance he's starting unless Hurts goes down, okay?
Right.
But at the Browns, I mean, it's Wild West over there, dude. Like, best quarterback is going to start. And there's a lot of them over there. Like,
a lot of quarterbacks. I don't know if there's a lot of best quarterbacks.
we don't, yeah, but the best one's going to start. He has a chance to compete regardless of where he was drafted. Usually if you're drafted in the 5th round, there's no chance in hell that you're starting. Okay, but he went to the one team that actually, you got a chance to start. If you can throw it down and win the job, you will fucking start. Right?
But you gotta believe half of winning a job, half of winning a starting quarterback job in camp. You go into camp with a camp competition. Half of it is mental and like off the field stuff. It's almost, like, who are you as a leader? Who are you as a teammate? All signs point to him being kind of a shithead about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, he didn't take part in the combine. He didn't do the Senior Bowl. Like, he didn't do all these activities.
It's almost like he needs a few years to mature out of that.
Actually, you know what? The fall of Shadeur, as far as he did, is a huge pushback because Shadeur didn't. So all these guys coming into the combine, I mean, that was kind of one of the storylines of this combine, of this draft, was in the combine, it's like these guys don't like to participate anymore, right? And it makes sense because for a lot of these guys, it could actually hurt their draft value. Like they could go out and do something really bad, and they would hurt their draft value.
Right.
So they don't do it. Like if you're a consensus like top player, like you don't go out. So they're not doing these combines and pro days and all this stuff, right?
Maybe you get your arms measured a little shorter than they really are.
Yeah, it can hurt your draft value. So they don't do it. They stop, a lot of these top prospects, at least if you're like a consensus top 2 in your position, they'll, they're telling these guys not to go. This is a pushback on that. This pushes back on that rationale because that's what happened to Shadeur. That is why he fell. Because teams were going like, well, you kind of didn't show us shit in the evaluation process.
Yeah. Well, that and whatever was going on in the team meetings.
And the few meetings he took.
Interviews that he was having.
Yeah, the team interviews that he took and the few meetings that he took. Teams didn't have their socks knocked off. Okay,
So he did some real
So this really hurt him. You know? I mean, this is going to make, I think this is good for the combine, and like, certain players are going to think twice about not participating in stuff again like this. You know what? Will Johnson, the cornerback from Michigan, who was like a consensus top cornerback, he was supposed to go in the first round. I think he went like in the fourth round. He dropped too.
Yeah, it was like third or fourth
round. Yeah. Like, he was another guy that dropped way farther than he should have.
Yep.
And what's the correlation here? Didn't participate in stuff. Like this whole not participating in the combine and pro days, and I'm going to give you less information because I know I'm a top prospect anyway.
Yeah.
Like, some of these guys got nailed to the wall with it. You know? You look at a guy like Ferguson who went out there as a tight end. He got drafted high. I think he went in the second round, dude. And that was a guy that participated in all of it. So, I don't know. These guys are going to start to... That's some good pushback on results in the draft that, you know what? Maybe you should not do that.
And I'm all for it. I don't like how guys don't do. It's football. Go play football.
Go play football. Go compete. Go compete.
When Williams,
always
the
compete.
Consensus #1 pick last year, like didn't do anything pre-draft. He was like not even going to play in his bowl game.
Yeah,
I
Caleb.
don't think he played in his bowl game. Like, that's obnoxious. Go play football.
It's obnoxious. Go compete.
Yeah.
Always compete. You know? So, that was a cool... But the Browns had a good draft, dude. While we're on the Browns, you want to look at a draft class? You want to see what they got? Look at what they got here. They moved back. The Browns did not do Browns things this draft. They actually... You know what I like too? Oh, when they moved back, they got another first round for next year.
They did. They got next year's first, which is really what?
From the Falcons, I think? No. Or was it from the Jags?
Jacksonville's trained for them to get Hunter.
So
they
they
gave him next year's first and this year's second.
So now they got 2 picks in the first round next year. So they've got this whole portfolio of quarterbacks in house. One of those guys competes, wins the job, great.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen, great. They've got Joe Flacco. They have a security blanket, and they've got 2 picks in the top round next year. Like, they're gonna get their hands on maybe the best quarterback.
They're positioning themselves to be, if they're not the worst team with the #1 pick.
Yeah.
They could be.
I mean, well,
to be able, when you have 2 first-round picks next year, you can trade.
they can move up.
And move up and get the best.
They've got the juice to move up.
So they're gambling that next year's quarterback class will be better than this one.
That's a huge deal. Well, I mean, that is the consensus.
And they'll be able to make a move on the first or second.
Well, because you know who the target is next year, right? Who everybody's just like licking their chops over?
It's Arch Manning.
Arch Manning.
Yeah.
That's already on every team's radar that needs a QB is like, oh, buddy.
Even if he's not good, he'll at least sell tickets.
I mean, he's going to start this year. Arch Manning. And I mean, we haven't talked about that on the podcast, but for people who don't know, Arch Manning is the son of Peyton's brother, went to Texas, and he looks better than any Manning that's ever come out. I think he was a junior, and holy hell, like he played in some games. This is it's a mobile Manning. And he might have the arm too. I don't know. It's crazy. So the Browns set themselves up fantastically well. I think they really nailed this draft. Let's look at their other picks. And I mean, we care about this because the poor Browns have been one of the worst franchises ever for a long time. They blew it. So the Browns moved back, went and got Mason Graham. So that's an awesome top pick for the defensive line next to Myles Garrett. They got a huge value in Carson Schweisinger, probably the best linebacker in the draft.
Yeah.
Then in round 2, they got Quinshon Judkins, who's the bruiser, the more bruising back out of Ohio State. So they got a great back, one of the top backs in the draft. Top 3 for sure. So they got their Chubb replacement, which is great because Chubb, Chubb's got some road on him.
He's on the second half of his career.
Yeah, it's a great one too. They got a feisty rookie. It's the perfect time to get that guy in the house,
Yeah.
And the Browns got to run. If you don't have a good quarterback, you need to have a good running game, right? Oh, and then the stinky Browns went and took Harold Fannin, which was a guy that this is in the 3rd round. I mean, Charger fans were like, okay, we need to get Fannin.
So you're a little salty.
Fannin was on the radar. Yeah, they went and took him, so I was really pissed at the Browns when they went and did that. Then they went and took Dylan Gabriel. Shoot, this is kind of crazy. I didn't know this. They doubled up on backs. Dylan Sampson, they went and got him too, who was another guy that was kind of a top shelf running back in this draft.
Yeah, he went a lot later than he was projected.
Oh yeah,
They got him in the 4th round.
he was hanging around. That was a BPA pick. That guy should have been gone. So it's kind of crazy that they doubled up on Judkins and Dylan Sampson. I guess they really want to hit their home run with a good back,
Yeah.
And then they went and took Shadeur. You want to go first? You want to go through your picks, or you want me to go through the Chargers picks? Or you want me to go through the Patriots picks and you can talk about it?
First, we all know we got Will Campbell. Finally drafting a left tackle. A guy who actually played left tackle for his entire career in college and before.
So
And at this point, everybody knows that a week or so before the draft, the Patriots sent Vrabel and a contingent down to Louisiana to have one final meeting with him. And Vrabel picked up the blocking pad and said, down block me like a tight end. And he knocked Vrabel on his ass.
really,
He said, yes, coach, let's go.
really,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that he went and knocked Vrabel on his ass.
Vrabel's pushing 50, but,
Either way, that's going to be very intimidating for a draft prospect. Not only is this guy your head coach, possibly, but this is Mike Vrabel.
yeah.
Big, gnarly linebacker from the Patriots. Here's the thing, Mike Vrabel's not going to back down.
Right. And And also,
Like he's gonna be like, bring
if you
it.
don't go all the way, then he's gonna be mad.
Yeah.
But if you do, you might kill him.
You lost draft stock. Like you're gonna lose draft stock. You may not get drafted by him if you don't kill him. It's very Mike Vrabel.
Yeah.
I love it. I bet Vrabel was joking about the whole situation going into it.
Yeah. Like on the plane down there.
Yeah, he's like, you watch what I'm going to do to this rookie. It's like, I'm going to mess with this rookie's head real bad right now. I'm going to pick up a pad and make him try and kill me. See what he does.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge him. So you went and took Travion Henderson. How do you feel about that? Second round. He was a good pick.
At first, my initial reaction, honestly, was it was too early to take a running back.
That's kind of fair.
I felt like there was more glaring needs to address with a lot of good players still available.
Oh, so many good players in the second round.
Yeah. But really looking into Henderson, he can be that third down back immediately. He's, scouted as a pretty good pass blocker.
Yeah.
Which is important, which the Patriots really didn't have. They don't have a stout pass blocker. Like Ramondre's okay. Gibson is not very good at it.
Well, that's why they drafted him.
So
He's the last.
like Gibson was supposed to be the third down back. He's more shifty than Stevenson. But like if you can't pass block, you can't be the third down back.
That was one of the top listed traits of Henderson is that he's a complete back, strong, and pass pro.
So
And yeah, he is the scat back. He's not huge in size, but he's a complete back. I mean, that's really the only thing he lacks is size.
right.
Other than that, fantastic hands.
Stevenson
Shifty.
is the big bruiser. They already have that.
Yeah, Stevenson is your bruiser.
So at the end of the weekend, I like that pick a lot more than I did previously.
He's your pass pro back.
Yeah.
If you didn't really have that, you really got to have that.
Especially in Josh McDaniel's offense, even more so. 'Cause, that's why.
Did you do research on your picks? Do you know all your picks?
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about Kyle Williams, your third round wide receiver that you took here. I didn't watch any film on that guy. Tell me about Kyle Williams.
He's like an average size outside wide receiver. He's not big, but
So what, 6 foot?
or just
6'1"? 6'1"?
5'11", 6 foot, 190 pounds.
Oh, you think he's under 6 foot?
I think so.
Because Ladd is 6 foot. I consider him. I mean, I don't know. Anything less than 6 foot. I feel like Ladd is small too, though.
But he's fast. He ran a 4.40.
Okay.
So, which again, they really didn't have a burner on the outside. The closest thing to that they had is Booty.
I mean, that's kind of the pick that got away from you guys, huh? This wideout. You didn't really get a wideout.
Well, they got Williams. He's the dart they got to throw at that position.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you didn't get a guy that it was just like, okay, that solves our,
Yeah,
because that is a need. That is a strong need of the Patriots.
Realistically, he's not projecting to be a number one receiver.
Because
he's his probably ceiling is a number 2 receiver.
Because you got Diggs. Diggs is going to be your number 1.
Right.
So this guy could challenge Polk, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
So it's not bad, but
Polk's probably never going to be a number 1 either.
well, Polk's really got to take a step forward this season.
So-
We'll see.
You know, they're adding to their number 2 and 3 receivers, but like they just kind of have to keep doing it.
Hey, you know, you can do it. I mean, Clint Johnson took a huge step forward last season.
Yeah. And honestly, like
Polk can do it.
the way I felt last year is you can't evaluate these receivers until you get an offensive line. Like
That's hard to do too. That's
between
hard to do as well.
Drake May being a rookie.
If there's no play development, there's no time for these guys to run a route.
Yeah, like
Nothing happens.
You don't know what you have at wideout when you have a rookie or second-year quarterback with nobody blocking in front of him.
Yeah.
So after that, then they went and took
You got that center.
Jared Wilson, who
Fantastic.
was probably a top 2 or 3
Fantastic pick.
center prospect in the draft.
I think he was the top center.
Yeah.
I think.
I think he was the top on some people's boards or number 2 on other people's boards.
Dude,
he was right there, which
dude.
they absolutely needed. David Andrews retiring. They got to find a new center for the next 10 years.
The centers, Jake Majors, center for Texas, number 3 rated center in the entire draft, was undrafted.
Really?
Undrafted.
That's wild.
Because he was on our radar. Like, I feel like the Chargers I wanted the Chargers to draft a center, so me and Brian were watching all these centers. The number 2 center, McLaughlin, from Ohio State, the national champions, dude. Healthy. Dude has no injury history, okay? Healthy dude. Sitting there. I think he got drafted, but like in the 6th round. I mean, that was a guy that I'm like, dude, get this guy in the 6th round, number 2 rated center in the whole draft. You know? What a value. That guy's starting. You get a starting center in the 6th round. So anyway, you guys got your center. I think the combo of Campbell and that center, I mean, fantastic, dude.
I mean, that was probably my favorite pick of the draft.
Yeah, I would. We all knew Campbell, but that one right there, fantastic, dude. So good. That's when you guys made that pick. Me and Brian were like, good for the Patriots, dude. There you go. You know.
Yeah.
Now you got some pieces on the O-line. You got 2 starting top-level players, dude, on the O-line. Hands down.
Yeah. So.
Tell me how those pieces factor in with the rest of the O-line packet, like picture now.
Well, I mean, clearly Will Campbell is going to start at left tackle.
Yeah, so you got your tackle, you got your center. What are the other pieces looking like?
At the center, it's going to be Bradbury, who they signed from.
Yeah, so you got Bradbury, but this kid's gonna back him up.
Which is perfect. Yeah, Bradbury will start this year, and then that kid will take over. You know, give him a year to.
Or if Bradbury sucks.
Or if Bradbury sucks halfway through the season, they put him in.
Yeah, you plug this kid in. This kid's gonna be sniffing up Bradbury's ass.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It raises the floor for Bradbury. Because that guy's gonna have to be good to keep his job.
But he doesn't have to start immediately.
Yeah.
It's not like left.
Agreed.
Not like left.
Well, I mean,
tackle,
it's-
we don't have to.
It is Bradbury's job to lose.
Right. But it's also not like we just drafted you. You're a fantastic prospect. But we have this 3rd-year center it's his job to lose. So, you know, we'll get you in there when we get you in there.
I mean, Bradbury was not the strongest center
wasn't, but he's a starting center.
Yeah, he's a starting center. He's got reps.
But he's older, so like
there's some upside.
He's not going to be there forever anyway, even if he has a Pro Bowl season.
I mean, his PFF was not that strong. That's my point. Like, it wasn't that strong. You needed a starting center, so you got one. There wasn't a whole bunch out there. There's an argument to be made. The Patriots didn't get the best deal on him, but they got him. You got to get a guy.
Right. They got a guy.
They got a guy.
They have a starter.
They have a starter.
Now they have a rookie to learn how to.
They got a really good rookie sniffing up his ass.
To learn to be Drake May's center for the next 10 years. Perfect.
Very good situation. What's going on with the guards, though? I mean, how do you feel about the strength of the other pieces? That's where I'm driving with it.
Right. I mean, the guards, they got Micah Wenu, one of the best right guards in the league.
Okay, so that's locked in.
Yeah, and they signed him to a big contract last year for a few years.
Yeah, that was the one guy they kept. That was awesome, right?
It was just bad when they had to move him to tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's not a tackle.
When it's like, can you play all 4 non-center positions?
Yeah, right?
All at once, too.
So that you said that's the guard?
Yeah, he's right guard. So the main question mark is
Right tackle?
That's going to be Moses, who they signed from the Jets.
Oh, okay, so they brought a guy in.
They brought in he's an old veteran. He's like 34. You know,
He's pretty old.
So next year they're going to need a right tackle.
Yeah.
That's fine. But like,
If Moses doesn't go down, you're not feeling horrible.
you can't get all the tackles in one draft.
Yeah, if Moses can stay healthy, you're feeling like, okay, please stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely needs to stay healthy.
For the love of God, please stay healthy because we have nothing behind you.
Well, they have Verdarian Love, who played left tackle most of the year last year. While he was healthy, he was playing left tackle. He was hurt for a couple games, and that's when it got really, really bad. So I mean, he'll be the backup swing tackle. Is fine.
Yeah, it's not who you want starting, much less going down, and then you got a practice squatter.
Right. They had a lot of practice squatters. They had other teams' practice squatters.
So the right guard is locked up with a really good dude. What about the left guard?
The left guard is going to be a camp competition between Cole Strange, their first-round pick from a couple years ago. City So, who was like a 4th-round pick from a couple years ago.
So
they have a handful of
some
picks.
upper, better than average.
And honestly, City So is a giant road grader, and Cole Strange is a smaller guy. They played around with converting him to center because he's almost like too small.
So there's a good, healthy competition.
So it's a healthy competition. It's also like, what style of blocker do you want? Because you have like all of the styles.
Yeah. You got a little. Okay, so that just greatly improved the strength of the line there, and you might have a piecemeal together decent line there.
I mean, last year they had the worst or second worst offensive line in the league. In almost every category.
It's not hard to improve.
Any way that it was graded, they were at the bottom. So it's greatly improved over this weekend.
If going into this year, there's a decent chance you could have an upper middle of the pack line.
Yes.
Yay!
I mean, just an average line to be 16th instead of 31st.
Exactly. You're looking, if we're in the top 15 of lines, like home run.
Yeah.
It's as good as it gets. Okay. So yeah, I was stoked about that pick for you guys. You went and picked up a safety. You had a lot of picks.
Yeah.
safety, Woodson, he must have been pretty good because the safeties, I feel like, fell. Dude, there was a lot of good safeties way late in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, you were pretty stoked about him. I think he got a lot of experience in Cal, played a lot of games, started for like 3 years. Yeah, we need another safety in the room, special teams guy.
Well, I feel like that was a BPA. You know?
And then later in the fourth round, they got Joshua Farmer.
Yeah, that was a great BPA too, by the way.
From Florida State. Again, a guy who probably should have
Way higher.
A lot of big boards had him in the top 100. And
Yeah.
He was like 150.
No, Farmer was a name that I knew, and I watched him fall, and it was like, dude, what's up with the hate on fucking Farmer, man?
So that was fantastic as well.
Yeah, that was a fantastic BPA. You know what I mean by BPA, right?
Yeah, best player.
Best player available, yeah. You guys got great value there.
Both at positions of need. You know, like
Absolutely.
not left tackle level position of need, but certainly on the list.
No, yeah, it's certainly on the list. That was great. Great BPA. It's great when BPA lines up with a position of need. I mean, that is the holy grail of draft, right? Like, this guy's going to start. He's coming in. You ain't got a starter. Farmer's going to start, dude, and that's the 4th round.
Well, he's not going to start, but he'll be in the rotation.
You don't think so?
Well, because they obviously signed Williams to that giant contract, and then they have Barmore. It's really all contingent on Barmore being healthy, which at this point all signs point to good, but that can always change really quickly.
Dude, you got Braden Swinson.
Because Barmore's thing is blood clots.
In the 5th round, you got Swinson. Swinson was another guy that fell. That guy was supposed to go like 2nd round, top of the 2nd round.
Yeah, but it was the edge that, there's 30 edge guys, so.
That was another fantastic BPA right there, dude.
And another position of need.
Yeah, Swinson, dude, you guys doubled. Those were both.
So if those guys work out, it's fantastic.
Dude, those were unbelievably.
Because that was really why I felt running back was too early in the 2nd round. Was like you kind of need edge and safety more than running back.
Dude, you guys scored with Farmer and Swinson back to back there in the 4th and 5th rounds. Jesus. No, those guys are starters, bro. Like they can't.
Yeah.
They're going to compete to start.
And they needed pass rush help in a big way.
Those are unbelievable values. Then you went and got yourself a kicker, huh?
Yep, they needed to draft a kicker because they don't really have a kicker. The only one on the roster was Romo, who I don't even know who he is, honestly.
I don't even know that guy.
Like where he's kicked. Curious.
No idea. What corner of the planet they dug him out of.
I just know he's on the roster as the only kicker. And they took the best kicker in the draft. He was the first kicker taken. He only missed 1 kick all year last
first
year.
kicker in the draft. Well done.
He missed 1 kick in the first game of the season, and then he didn't miss after that.
Sorry, everybody. I forgot to plug in the microphone. So, I don't know how much you've been hearing. You've probably been hearing me, but you probably can't hear Pete. God damn it. Well, that was bound to happen.
Yeah, we were gonna do that at some point.
Some point, I was going to forget to plug in the microphone. It's Good thing I talk loud as fuck. I just like saw it sitting there. I'm like, God damn it.
And then, so after the kicker, they took an offensive tackle, developmental guy. Hope, you know, you got to just have guys in the pipeline.
I mean,
because they just don't have any tackles.
In the 7th round, 6th, 7th round, that's what you're doing is you're drafting developmental offensive line pieces.
Yeah.
For your Chargers fans, that's a Trey Pipkins. Which Trey was drafted like in the 3rd round.
I mean, Mike Onwenu, the Patriots starting guard, is drafted in the 6th round, so it happens.
Then you got, what's an LS?
Long snapper.
Oh wow, you got a long snapper to go with your kicker, huh?
Well, because their current long snapper is the last Super Bowl champion, Joe Cardona, that they have on the roster.
Yeah.
So obviously he's
going to retire.
He's getting up there. He's been playing for like 10 years.
You know what's funny is Charger fans were talking all this shit about, I think our punter. We signed him, J.K. Scott. We signed him to like pretty decent contract, and a lot of the Charger fans in the fan chat room were breaking the Chargers balls on it, like, oh, JK's not even that good, I don't get it. And here's the thing, JK is a medium to better level punter. He's not the best punter in the league, okay? He's not. But I would rate him, I would definitely rate him in the top 15.
As an NFL kicker or punter.
I would rate him in the top 10, solidly.
Okay, so he's an above average.
Yeah, he's an above average punter.
An NFL punter.
And I think it's his only thing he suffers from too is like inconsistently. There's some punters that they're okay punters. They don't blow it, which is the worst thing you can do. So they don't blow it. JK has flashes where he'll place a punt and it was like, dude, nice punt. So he'll have those flashes. He just doesn't do it every punt. And sometimes he will have a punt where it's like, not the best punt. So
inconsistent.
He's just a little bit inconsistent. You're confident he's not going to blow it.
Right.
It's super rare when he has a bad punt. Let's put it that way. He has a lot more flashes of good punts than he does bad ones.
I mean, as long as you don't have an awful punts, that's really...
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, the Chargers were one of the few teams that actually tried to get kind of crazy with their punts and like pin people back.
Yeah.
Like in the corner, he was expected to punt it high into the corner, you know? So, but short and skinny is, he's the long snapper. Or no, he's the placeholder.
Yeah, a lot of teams do that just because they're practicing together as the special teams.
The punter is the placeholder,
as
yeah.
the specialist, so.
And so that was something a lot of the Charger fans don't understand is like, dude, the placeholder is like everything.
And you can't change your holder because the kicker
if you've got a good holder kicker combo, like those guys work well together and you can't break that up.
Yeah.
Like it's like changing the kicker. Like, you may think you just got the kicker, but if he doesn't have the right guy holding his ball and they don't work well together, you could have the best kicker in the world. He's going to kick like shit because the holder holds like shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a golf swing. You know, that's what a kicker's job is he knows the exact trajectory of his foot and angle. And if that ball isn't angled the way it's supposed to be angled, it goes off somewhere else. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
not through the uprights.
Ace Ventura and Ray Finkel made the kicking ball famous.
Yeah. The placeholder, dude. It's all about.
Everybody knows.
Absolutely.
He blamed that guy till the day he died.
It's as silly. It may seem silly, but it's not. It's totally valid, dude. It's completely valid. So that's why you pay that guy. You got to keep that guy. If you've struck the right combo between that, like, you do not mess that up.
Yeah.
Can't mess that up, man.
And then the Patriots did also, their last pick was Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the draft.
DB.
It was Kobe Minor, corner, which they traded. Yeah, so, you know, we'll see. Everybody loves a good Mr. Irrelevant.
Everybody loves that. I really thought that the Patriots were going to take my boy Thomas Perry.
Oh, yeah.
The center from Middlebury. Thomas Perry did not get drafted.
Shocking.
Yeah, I was really upset about that. I mean, I wanted the Chargers to take him.
Right.
I really wanted the Chargers to take him. So poor guy didn't get drafted. But he did get invited to a mini camp. Guess who?
LA? Charges?
No. Not like I was hoping.
So now you're really salty about
Close,
it.
though.
The Rams?
The Ravens.
Oh.
He did get invited by a Harbaugh. You know what?
Yeah.
If he got invited by John, by the Ravens.
You meant family ties, not freeway ties.
Yeah. If he got invited by the Ravens, you better believe the Chargers tried to invite him. But he's from Connecticut and Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland, like,
right.
He's going to stay close to home. So.
It's just an easier camp commute for him.
And it's a good team, too. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm Thomas, I get 2 invites, one from the Chargers and one from the Ravens. I'm going to the Ravens. Like, I can drive there.
Right.
You know? And it's minicamp. Like, there's no guarantee he's going to make the roster. Like,
there's no guarantee.
Might as well be close to home.
You're not getting paid. So
yeah. So he got an invite. I'm actually rooting for him to make the Ravens. The story of Thomas Perry continues, but I really wish the Chargers had drafted him. I was telling my friend that. I was like, dude, if he goes UDFA, we're never going to get our hands on him. I'm like, it's going to be the Patriots or Ravens. Because he's never, like, the only way he's coming to the West Coast is if he gets drafted and he has to come to the West Coast. Other than that, he's going to drive. Like, he's going to pick a club close to home and go there. So, all right, let's go to my charges. Well, for those of you that don't know, the Chargers drafted Amari and Hampton in the first round, which is epic because that guy is. I'm really excited about Hampton. Did you get to watch any Amari and Hampton film?
No.
I watched Genty and him,
Uh-huh.
and to be honest, Hampton's film is more exciting to me. And this is why. Hampton ran behind a bad line, a worse line than Genty did.
Okay.
The Tar Heels, are they in the SEC?
No, ACC.
I feel like they're in a better division though.
They are. It's still better than
Yeah.
the Mountain West.
And
Boise
and-
is in.
you know,
They're still playing Florida State, Clemson.
there was only one guy that all these teams knew they had to stop. And it was Hampton.
Right.
Like Drake May was gone. And they're like, all you got to do is stop this Amari and Hampton guy, but he's kind of hard to stop.
Yeah. As the best have a way of doing that.
Yeah, and here's what he does that Genty doesn't. Like half his runs are between the tackles, and he's breaking it off.
Yeah.
Like nasty between the tackles, dude. He is a between the tackles runner. Just punishing, bro. He breaks tackles. He like has it all of it, dude. Home run hit. If he gets into that secondary, geez. And I mean, yeah. So he's just. His film is really. He's going to be the best back. This is not a Melvin Gordon, okay? I watched Melvin Gordon's film coming out as a Badger when we drafted him.
He was the first round pick, right?
I think so, maybe.
Second round pick. I think he was pretty high.
And Melvin was okay. Hampton's special, bro. Like his film is just nutso. So enough gushing about Omari and Hampton, but really excited about that guy. He wasn't the guy I wanted. The guy I wanted was Colston Loveland. The Bears went and fucked all that up.
Yeah, because you weren't picking in the top 10.
Yeah. So our next pick, that was a huge shocker. Huge shocker. Do you know about it?
What, their second pick?
Yeah.
There was Trey Harris.
Yeah, dude.
Big, fast wide
We
receiver.
thought, because I think the tight ends had gone. Mason Taylor had gone. And I think Ferguson went. That was a huge one. Like, okay, so we knew Taylor probably wasn't going to be there, Mason Taylor. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, Ferguson, that's our guy. We're going to get that guy. And then he got drafted like 4 slots later. I mean, there was a run on tight ends.
Right. A lot earlier than that.
Right before the Chargers picked. Every time it was like, ooh, okay, this is when we're going to get our tight end. No. Even more so. Taylor went, then Ferguson went, and then I think Fannin got taken right before us too. So that, I mean, the tight ends got reached on, man.
I mean, that's what happened to the Patriots last year. They missed the tackle run in the first round, and then they missed the wide receiver run and like both times they missed both of the runs.
Yeah. So, I mean, tight ends were pretty picked clean by the time the Chargers got to them. Got to take their pick. The good news is there were some wideouts.
Yeah, I mean, Trey Harris was a guy I wanted for the Patriots.
Yeah.
And he was kind of there at the end of the second round. Obviously, it was where the Chargers took him. But
I mean, me and you, we talked about him.
Maybe the Patriots could get him. That would be good. And
Trey Harris was my second round wideout guy.
yeah.
Like, that was a guy that I was like, look at this big X receiver. Like, dude, in the second round, like, if we're taking a wideout, either him or it was going to be that Higgins kid, who's another big X, who I really liked his film.
Yeah, he also fell down there, not all the way, not as far.
But Higgins got taken.
Yeah.
So Higgins was off the board. And Trey Harris, post-draft, it really seems for all intents and purposes that, and I think Trey Harris is what, 6'4"? He's a big dude.
6'2", 205.
He's only 6'2"?
Yeah.
Really?
That's what ESPN has him listed at.
Why did I think he was bigger than that? It's kind of funny how, like, height and weights will jump around from source to source. They really do.
And arm lengths. Like, were you getting weighed with your pads on in uniform?
What's that?
Like, were you getting weighed with your pads on in uniform?
I know.
With 15 pounds of...
Right? Okay, PFF has him listed as 6'3", 210. I mean, that's why he was kind of on my radar, is like, I want a big X receiver. Not, and 6'3" for me is 6'3" or bigger, like that's a big X.
Yeah.
So we took him, which was a guy I loved anyway. I didn't think he would fall to the bottom of the second round. He shouldn't have, really.
Right.
The Chargers, here's a funny thing. It came out after the draft that the Chargers were Trey Harris was their guy. Like, that was the guy that they were like, we got to get that guy in the second round. He was kind of their Lad McConkey of this draft. Like, that's our guy. And they wanted to move up. Harbaugh and Ortiz, who Ortiz is usually a very cool customer, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he will let the board fall because he's Baltimore. And Ravens don't move a lot, usually. They were freaking out. Like, he's not going to be there. He's not going to be there. We got to get him. I think when Higgins went, they were freaking out.
Right.
Like, we're down, like, It's if you're going for a big X, like he's the only other guy on the board.
Only guy left.
Yeah.
There's still 12 picks or whatever.
Higgins was like, if you're profiles wise, if you're looking for that type of dude, like Higgins, it's Trey Harrison Higgins.
Right.
And so Higgins went kind of early in the second round. I think that's when they were really freaking out. Like, damn it, somebody's gonna get him, you know. And they were wanting to move up. And Spanos, the younger Spanos, who is a big part of the football operations, he's the one that chilled them out and was like, guys, we've got lots of good players on the board. We don't have to use this draft capital to get to Trey. Like, Trey will fall. And the day before, Ortiz was talking about it in his presser too, that the day before, he's the one, he was there for Torrey Smith, and he's like, man, when we drafted Torrey Smith, he was like, I had this feeling the day before, like, this is our guy. We're gonna get that guy, you know? Your heart just like gets set on someone, you know? And that happened with Trey Harris. He was saying, like, man, I was just like, the day before I told Coach, like,
you had an epiphany.
I think Trey Harris is going to be our guy, man. Like, we're going to get that guy. And so, Spanos was like, yo, calm down. He's going to make it. And so they didn't do it, and he did fall. And so both the GM and the coach were like, yeah, thanks, John.
Yeah.
Like, but Harris was a big target for them in the second round. Like, that's the guy they really wanted in the second round.
Then they took Jamari Caldwell, interior defensive line.
Yeah, we took Jamari Caldwell. There were a number. Okay, so Alfred Collins was a guy that I was like, that's our guy in the third round. I was like, okay, let's get Collins. And then Collins went beginning of the third round. Who did he go to? I think he went to the Niners. I was so upset with the Niners. Such good bastards. So when Collins went, I was really upset. Because I really thought, okay, that's our next guy. It was a bit of a reach. He shouldn't have gone that early, but they got themselves a great player. I think Collins is one of those guys that, yeah. Caldwell was not on my radar. That was not a guy I had watched any film on. So when it happened, I was kind of like, okay.
There is so many defensive linemen.
Yeah, who is this? Because, I mean, Collins had went. I think Lott. I don't know if Lott was still there. Maybe Lott had gone too. Omar Norman Lott was another guy that I really, really liked. I really thought maybe it would take like CJ West. CJ West I was like, okay, let's take CJ West. I would have been really happy with CJ West. He was a guy that was on my radar. Like, okay, we're going CJ West, dude.
A big part of the draft is seeing guys who you like play for other teams.
Yeah, I know. I mean, good news is, you know, me and Brian, like the Charter, we have great taste in players. Turns out the teams have the same taste in players that we do. Because a lot of our favorites got reached on and taken way earlier than they were supposed to go. That was a recurrent theme. The guys that we loved all got reached on and taken way before they were supposed to. None of those guys fell. None of them. So, now Caldwell comes from Oregon. And that guy's grown on me a lot once I started kind of dug into his film and his background. He played next to Derek Harmon. Harmon was another guy I loved to take in the first round, which the stinking Steelers did. One round, like literally the pick before us. But Caldwell, so Mason Graham got taken from Michigan. The guy next to him was Kenneth Grant. Kenneth Grant went not long after Mason Graham.
Right.
Kenneth Grant was another guy that we thought would fall in the first round. He did not. He went really, really early. Caldwell is basically Oregon's Kenneth Grant. It's exactly what he is. Same build, same job assignment. He's a two-gapper. Now the thing is, he came from Houston before. He transferred to Oregon. And Oregon asked him to do something very different than what he was doing in Houston. In Houston, he was their pass rusher, and he was nasty. Did really well in Houston as the pass rushing capacity. Pocket penetrator.
Yeah.
When he went to Oregon, they said, you're playing next to Harmon. We want Harmon to pass rush. We want you to eat the double team and gap and be gap protection.
So he can do both.
And we want you to throw on like 30 pounds. And so that's what he did. He gained weight. And he was their nose. Like he was a nose, two-gapper nose.
Right.
I love his film, actually. I might like his film more than I like Kenneth Grant. Actually, I watched some pretty significant Kenneth Grant film because he was on my radar. And I wasn't like, ooh, when I was watching his film. There was nothing really juicy to it. He did his job.
Right.
Outside of his reputation, everybody's like, dude, Kenneth Grant, Kenneth Grant, Kenneth Grant. It wasn't exciting to watch. Caldwell, I like Caldwell's film better than I do Kenneth Grant. And it's because, dude, this kid's got just, you look at Caldwell, he's not much to look at, okay? I think he's 6'2", maybe 6'1". He's not super tall. He's got a nose tackle's belly on him. But he, guy's got feet, like he's really agile and quick. Really quick with his feet. It stands out. You're like, I don't know how a guy that big can kind of like move like that.
Freaks.
Like with his legs.
Yeah.
Just really quick legs, dude. And he knows how to like keep his gaps, and if there's an opportunity, like if the back comes close to him or the QB's close to him at all, like he'll drop that gap and get him. Like he's really smart, you know? That was something that they talked about in the Chargers presser, was because of his pass penetration, because they know he can pass, they know he can pass rush, and they know he's good at gap protection. He's a 3-down tackle.
Useful.
Like you can just keep that guy in there.
Yeah.
Because in pass down, so maybe you go with your pass rushers, you know? They know he can do that, which is exactly what Puna did. So he really is the perfect Puna replacement. Puna Ford, who the Chargers weren't able to keep through free agency.
Right.
He's the perfect Puna. He's Puna, but bigger and younger.
A big poon.
Yeah, Puna. Gotta love his name. In the 4th round, we took Kyle Kennard.
Yeah, that was a great pick.
Kennard was not a guy that was on my radar. Another guy. Didn't happen to watch that one. Didn't see the pick coming. But he's a guy, once I watched film on him, I love him. He's a bad dude. Edge, he's an edge rusher.
Yeah.
Was he on your radar?
A little bit. He fell a little bit too, just because people had to. There was so many. Yeah. There were so many defensive linemen.
He might be the BPA pick of the draft for the Chargers. I don't know. They got a few BPA guys that were like, wow. So yeah, he's another guy that fell way past where he was supposed to go. He was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year.
Wow.
Which is a big deal.
That is
a major division, and he was the Defensive Player of the Year for not the biggest program either. He comes from I don't know, whoever the Gamecocks are.
South Carolina.
The South Carolina Cox. He's 6'5", I think 245, so 245, or maybe almost 250. He's got some decent size for edge. To put it in perspective, Khalil Mack's 6'3", 240, and he gets it done just fine.
Bet.
Khalil Mack, for the record though, Khalil Mack is probably of the elite top 5 edge rushers in the league, which he was a part of somehow last year.
I mean, he's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean he's a legend. He's a first-round ballot Gold Jacket. You know. You know, Khalil's kind of the smallest dude of the bunch, probably.
You know, on the Chargers defensive line, or as defensive ends go?
League wide for an edge rusher. You know, if you're looking for an edge rush profile, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's about as small as you're going to see it. 6'3", 240. Like you're not going to see much smaller than that out there on the field, getting it done. Much less at the level he gets it done at. When I watch Kennard's film, he's a less polished Khalil Mack. Guy has vicious feet. Yeah. He's fast. He's not a power rusher. Like Khalil likes to use power. All the Chargers rushers, defensive ends, like power. And what they talk about like when you talk about power, like what is power? What do you mean by that? Is they like to bull rush and use their strength to actually push on the tackle. Push the tackle back.
Just go through them.
Yeah, kind of go through him. They try to use their power to bully a tackle and get them off balance.
Right. Once you get them off balance, then you throw them.
Kennard is more of a speed guy. And you got that's something that's come into play is you have these kind of speed edge rushers now. Jared Verse is like a speed edge rusher. The guy from the Eagles last season, that was a huge part of the pass rush in that Super Bowl win. Who was he? But you got these guys that use speed. And Kennard is more, he's a speed rusher with size. And, I mean, the thing is, yeah, Mac has this just relentless, just nastiness to him.
Yeah.
That you gotta love. Kennard has that, dude. He really has that. Like on film, he is really fun to watch.
The Hall of Fame motor.
He's got some motor, dude. He has some really awesome motors. So, he's the perfect piece for that room. He doesn't need to start. He can probably contribute real heavy on special teams. And, you know, if Dupree or Thule or one of these guys goes down, like, I'm excited to see him get some reps. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
If he winds up making some splashes by the end of the season, it won't shock me at all.
And he will. They'll get him in on the rotation.
He's the perfect piece. Great value. Like, there's lines in the NFL where that guy's going to start. You know? Defensive lines. So to get that guy in the 4th round, to get an edge rusher like him in the 4th round, it's just freaking fantastic value. A big story for me of the rest of the draft was the Chargers did not get themselves an interior O-lineman.
They did not.
Miles Frazier was there, who was a guy I loved. Probably my favorite sleeper kind of offensive line pick. And he was there, dude, for like 3 rounds. I'm going, Miles Frazier, get that guy. And then they kept taking other guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. So we took Kennard. Yeah, then we took this Lambert Smith kid. Another wideout. That was the biggest shock, actually, for me. Like, when we took Lambert Smith over Frazier, I was just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? Yeah. Another wideout?
The hyphenated Smith, they're hoping, is a new Smith Najigma.
Was Smith on your radar, this Lambert Smith kid?
No.
He was not on my radar at all. But again, you go back and you watch tape and you get it. He was actually a really, really high BPA. He was one of those guys right out that kind of like upper level of the wideouts.
I mean, that's just how you know that Ortiz is going to do Ortiz things. And yeah, they need a guard, but if a guard is never the BPA, then
I mean, yeah, this guy was. He must have been real. He was on the consensus big boards It's a huge BPA pick. I want to say like 90 spots, dude. And so this kid is Lambert Smith. He's 6'1", so average height. Watched his film. He has really, really exciting film, actually. I feel like he's this guy that kind of moved around. I think which program was he? He was part of Penn State. He was their top receiver at Penn State. Then he moved last year to Auburn, and they didn't use him quite as much. So he tried to move around to get better exposure. It worked against him.
Fail.
But you watch his film, and it screams of Ladd McConkey. And he did like a 4.3 at the combine. So he's got, but I mean, he's a route tactician. Like, he can run all the routes. He's extremely good at it. Extremely good hands. Like, he just, you watch his game and you're like, dude, this is like Ladd McConkey Pardue here.
Just gonna have a whole team of Ladd McConkeys. That's what you want.
So I like him. He was a BPA pick. And dude, the Chargers wide receiver room is stacked now. Like, we got Mike Williams, we got Trey Harris, we got QJ, we got Rigor, we got this kid. Like, a lot of good wideouts there, dude. QJ is going to have to kick his game up another notch to get any touches. That's for sure. Like, Trey Harris is going to push him. Trey Harris is going to push Mike Williams. And if Mike Williams goes down, like, we've got, I love Trey Harris. So you got to have an insurance policy on Mike Williams. You do.
You do, because he doesn't play a full season.
Unfortunately. And I love Mike Williams, okay? But I want, like, let's be realistic, okay? Like, betting your season on Mike Williams, being fucked for the season at your X position because Mike Williams goes down, not great. It's not great. Now I feel fantastic about our position. If Mike Williams goes down, like, no sweat. No sweat off my back. So, Lambert Smith. Oh, okay, then we got our tight end. Gadsden Jr. That was a tight end that was not on my radar at all. And I spent a lot of time on tight ends, okay?
Right, because you really needed a tight end.
Like, I spent a stupid amount on tight ends. And I mean, you got to realize by this time of the draft, like, me and Brian are freaking out. Like, dude, we didn't get a tight end. There was another guy, Mitchell Evans, that I loved.
You didn't get a tight end. You didn't get a guard. You guys were going crazy.
Evans got taken, reached on again. The Notre Dame tight end that I liked.
Yep.
Like, and he was like my late round flyer. Like, dude, if we don't get anyone, give me Evans, please. And Evans got taken. Like, it was just like, come on. So Gadsden 6'5", 245. He was a wideout that converted to tight end.
He was too big.
Because he's too big. Well, and too slow. Let's be real. Although I don't know what his 40 is. I'm surprised I haven't looked that up yet.
I mean, people that big just aren't as fast as wideouts. 4.9. That's my guess.
Okay, he ran 4.6.
Oh, all right. That's not bad.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's too slow for wideout, but that's fast for tight end.
Well, yeah, because he's a big dude.
Yeah. So his claim to fame, he played at Syracuse, smaller school. He converted. He had 2 years at tight end. Kind of got hurt his junior year when he first started at tight end. Didn't quite finish the season. Last season, he played the whole season healthy, I believe. And he did well. He was second in the entire FBS at contested catches.
Ooh.
Which is something that's exactly what the Chargers need in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Is a contested catch monster. Like, it's not necessarily getting open with the route. It's like, you're covered, but we know you're going to get the ball anyway.
Right.
Like, you need that guy.
It's a good stat to be on top of.
Yeah. You need that guy. So, he was a contested catch monster. And it's very telling because after the draft, of course, they've got the draft room footage. But they moved up. They moved up to get him substantially. I want to say they moved up like 20, 30 slots to go get him.
Oh, wow.
That was the guy. That was the guy in the near the end of the draft. Like, that was their late round tight end diamond in the rough.
All right.
And so they told him as much when they called him. There's some family ties. His dad played in the league.
They're like, look, you have to be 3 players because we gave up picks to get.
I don't know if his dad is a Hall of Famer, but his dad played in the league. Was a well-known player for a long time or something.
All right.
And so there's ties there. Like, people know him. He's a kid they've been watching.
And he went in the 5th round, just like Shadeur.
Yeah. Right?
Who also has family in the league.
But when Harbaugh got on the phone with him, Harbaugh told him, "Oh, we got a role for you. You're going in right away."
Oh.
Yeah, so they plan to start him. Like, that was not... They don't move up for just anyone. I have a tendency to give them the benefit of the doubt, because last time they moved up for someone, it was Ladd McConkey, and it was like, okay.
That worked out pretty well so far.
They weren't wrong about that. So we took Gadsden. Then we finally took a lineman. We took this dude. He's a tackle from Baylor, or from the Bruins, UCLA. Was a team captain 2 years. He's a big dude. He's 6'6", 320. There's something about, dude, the Chargers, like, they just love drafting massive people, dude. Just massive people. He's a tackle, but they're going to slide him into guard. They feel he's a guard.
Like, so many tackles in college football.
Like, so many tackles. The Chargers are moving the tackle into guard. They feel like he's a good guard prospect.
I mean, that's just what happens, because if you're the best offensive lineman on your team in college, you play tackle, because that's the more important position.
I mean, everybody else is, sliding in.
And then, but those guys, the other guys don't get drafted. You get drafted because you're the best one, but then you're not good enough to play tackle in the NFL. You play guard. That's fine.
Yeah. So they finally drafted somebody to add some competition to the O-line. They didn't take a center. To me, that's very telling about how they feel about the competition between Zion and James.
That it's going to work out with Zion?
Well, I mean, they must feel very confident that, like, one of those guys is going to give them elite center play.
Yeah.
One of them. Last 2 picks, we took a guy, Mickens. We took Mickens and this kid, Bridges. They're both cornerbacks / safeties. They've played all over the secondary. I think Mickens was like a huge BPA, like 120 slots or something.
Wow.
Yeah, he should have been taken way earlier. Somehow he fell, so that was a BPA pick. And he's exactly the kind of player that the Chargers like. Really flexible, aggressive, smart, has played all over the secondary.
Yeah.
He's a perfect depth piece. He'll challenge at all positions.
Well, plus, I feel like late flyers on defense are secondary guys, because they can at least play in special teams, returns and kicks.
And then UDFA interest here. I don't know if you've seen, have you kept up with your UDFAs?
I have not. Those will probably all get, a lot of them will get announced today.
So the Chargers signed something very interesting on the UDFA front. There was a college center, basketball center. This huge basketball center.
Ooh.
The guy is 6'9", 330. He's a basketball center.
He's a huge friggin' guy.
He signed as a UDFA, designation tackle. Here's what I think is really interesting, okay? And I'm really fired up about this. If I'm right about this, oh my God. This is the kind of signing Roman and Harbaugh. Like, they're not just... They went and got that guy. Here's what you do. Because I looked up the rules on, like, throwing a ball to a tackle. So all you have to do is announce he's an eligible receiver.
Right.
You have to tell the ref, and then the ref announces it to both sides, like, that guy could catch a ball.
Well, because the numbers dictate who's eligible.
Yeah.
That's why linemen wear between 50 and 79.
So in order for a lineman to catch a ball, they can do it as long as they announce themselves eligible.
Right, and then the ref makes the announcement, number 52
to both sides.
has been...
He tells the defense
the game as eligible. Yeah.
That guy might catch the ball.
Right.
Here's the thing with this guy. He's 6'9". He's a 6'9" basketball center, okay? You don't need him to run a route. And basketball is a game of short burst speed. Yeah. Like, it's a short burst speed game. Like, you're making short bursts, really nuanced. You're going to square out. Jump ball.
I mean, you just love tight ends who played basketball.
I mean, it screams of Gates. It screams of Gates, but here's the thing. Gates ended up being able to run routes, and he was a tight end, and he wasn't that big. This guy is a freaking monster. If you run this guy out, here, and he fits in package-wise, okay? He fits in package-wise because Greg Roman loves to put a sixth lineman out there.
Right.
So you put this guy on the end of your formation, whether it's left or right, as a tackle, but they designate him. Every time they run him out, they just say he's an eligible receiver. Right. Every time. It's a weird thing usually to have that happen. This isn't going to be weird. They're going to make it commonplace. So every fucking play they run him out, they're just going to say, yeah, that guy's an eligible receiver.
The ref's going to be like, he's always eligible. Just give him, just give him 82. Like, come on.
Like, just make him a tight end, okay? Yeah. No. So they're designating him.
The dude doesn't play tackle.
Well, here's the thing. At that size, if you have him throw a chip on Joey Bosa, like, those are small guys to him.
Yeah.
He can do that. Like, he can lay a hit on a defensive end, maybe knock him off his base. And then he just runs out 10 yards, jump ball. There's not a guy in the secondary that can defend him. Not even close. Yeah. These little DBs on a 6'9" center?
See if he can catch.
Jump ball? Yeah. Like, really? Like, red zone packages, 3rd and 10? 3rd and 10? Like, he's a guaranteed first down every time. There's nothing a team can do against that, okay? There's not a football player on the field that can defend that.
We'll see.
It's never been done. I promise you Roman and Harbaugh are thinking like this. Like, there's no rule against it. Why not?
Right.
Why not use it? Why not use a power center, you know? I mean, that's why they signed him. My point is, Roman and Harbaugh are crazy enough to do it. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're going to bring him in, see if they can teach him a little blocking. They're not going to try and make him run routes. You don't have to.
It's going to be like flag football.
He's going to go at 10, 15 yards.
Turn around.
He's got a 10 to 20 yard max. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not only that, when he catches the ball, it's going to take like 3 guys to tackle him. He's a huge human being.
I don't think he's running anything past 10 yards. I don't think he's going to be fast enough to do that.
No, I agree. He's not. I mean, he's going to catch the ball and maybe he's going to run a little bit. That's it. He's going to rumble. He's not breaking away from anyone.
Rumble.
He's going to rumble on the secondary he's going to catch a ball 10 to 15 yards out. He's going to rumble for another 10 to 15, and that's it.
Yeah.
But now you got 30 yards. And the problem is for defenses, like, how do we defend this? Because there's not, like, we don't have anybody that can out-jump this guy. You know, linebackers are small to him. He's just going to box out linebackers. Defensive ends. Like, there's nobody. There's literally nobody. If you're tall, you're an offensive tackle.
Yeah.
You're not a D lineman. You're an offensive tackle if you've got that kind of height, right? Like, the only guys tall enough to deal with that are other tackles. And those guys make millions of dollars playing tackle, not defensive line. Much less coverage, okay? You're talking about coverage here that you need. Like, there's no defense for this.
You think you found your part-time Gronk?
There's nothing like this. There's no comparison, okay? He's not Gronk. There's no comparison for this. No pro comp. Nothing like this has ever been done. No team has signed, I mean, outside of Gates. I think Gates was the center, right?
Yeah, he played basketball.
He played basketball, but I don't know if he was center or what. I got to go take the kids to school.
I feel like he was power forward.
I feel like he was a power forward too. Like a huge power forward.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for the episode. Look out for that guy in training camp. Jimmy. Oh, what's his name?
No, you can't bail on the name.
His name is something Jimmy. Anyway, look for him. UDFA Chargers. Yeah.